What is good, YouTube? Posting a video from a very much different setup. Yes, I am driving. Probably not the most smartest way to do this, but I felt in the mood. I apologize. First and foremost, because I lied. I said I would be on here every week, and I've missed 2 weeks already. However, I did post a physique update of 2 weeks ago. The last 2 weeks have been rough for me, guys, because I hate to call it a binge, but that's the quickest, shortest way to describe what happened. I don't like calling it a binge because we are purposefully, strategically starving ourselves for the stage. So I'm not giving my body enough food for what I'm asking of it. So naturally, I'm going to be hungry. I'm going to roll these windows up for us in a sec, because you won't be able to hear me. Yeah, that's basically what bodybuilding is, where you strategically starve yourself. Not literally, because you're still eating every day, but your calories are so low that, like, as much muscle as I have and how I train in the gym, my body needs so much more. As you can see, compared to my video 2 weeks ago already, my face looks even more gaunt than it did when I was training in the gym. And that's because I am 2 pounds lighter than I was in that video. In fact, I got down to 148.8 before I had my little impromptu refeed. I'm going to call it a refeed. I'm going to call it an impromptu refeed because my coach didn't approve it. Last Friday, it just hit me. I just was so ravenously hungry. And it took me by surprise because usually I don't experience that until around my cycle time. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm hungry every day for prep. But it's a type of hunger that I can ignore and push through because I know what the goal is. But around my cycle time, there's this certain level of hunger that comes on to me that I just cannot ignore and can't fight through. I can, but I choose not to. And so last Friday, which today is Wednesday, so this past Friday, today's the 23rd, so Friday the 19th, 18th, Friday the 18th, I went into Sam's Club, and I was in there just to buy a few things that I needed to re-up for prep. Saw this tray of paninis. I was already hungry. I had been eating some peanuts from Five Guys because I was doing some training at work, and the group that I went training with stopped at Five Guys for lunch. It was way too early to eat. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning. It was way too early to eat. I had just had my breakfast a little while ago, and I was just so hungry. And instead of me ignoring it and just drinking, I went and got a tray of peanuts. Ate those. Had like 2 of my friends' fries from Five Guys. And then after that, I went and had my lunch. But at that point, I was like, this lunch isn't enough. I need more. And I had a pretty big lunch. Went into Sam's Club, bought a tray of paninis. It was 4 of them. 4 paninis on there. I'm talking about stuffed, packed, full of chicken. It had to have been at least 6 or 7 ounces of chicken in that every panini. At least. That's how stuffed it was. And there were 4 of them. And for one of those paninis was like 660 calories according to the container. Your girl ate all 4 of them. Yeah, all 4 of them. And then I went and proceeded to eat 2 donuts. Went and got 2 donuts from the gas station. And then I went home. My stomach was so full. I was in so much pain Because when you diet down, it's like I have been for the last almost year. I've been dieting since September 24. When you've been dieting as long as I have, your stomach shrinks. Like it adjusts smaller. You know, it doesn't literally like shrink, but it adjusts. So if I ate too much, it's gonna hurt my stomach. And that's what it is. My stomach was like bulging, and it hurt so bad I couldn't do anything but lay down and just wait for my metabolism to just burn it off. And it didn't stop there. I think I nibbled on some more stuff later on in the day. Then the next day I started in again. So Friday and Saturday I went off the rails. By Saturday afternoon I said, I gotta talk to my coach. I gotta let him know what happened, because I was up. I was 148.8 last time I checked with my coach. We kind of went back up to about 149 after the dust settled. And my last check-in, I was a solid 149. Good work. Had I ignored the hunger and fought through it, I might have been at an even more bigger low right now. But instead, I bumped up I gained like 6 pounds of water. Yeah, I was about 156. I went from 149 to 156 in 2 days. So I knew it wasn't body fat, I just knew it was water, but I still had to tell my coach. And he said, hey, it happens. This is what we're going to do. He goes, if your weight's not where I think it needs to be by Monday, he goes, I think getting back on track the next couple of days will help. Don't do anything drastic. Don't go out there trying to starve yourself or do any extra cardio. Just get back on your low calories. This water should fall off in a couple of days. This was on Saturday I spoke to him. So the rest of Saturday I stayed on track, and all of Sunday I was on track. So Monday morning I was down a little bit, but nowhere near like I needed to be. I think I was like 153. So he added in cardio. I hadn't been doing cardio this whole time, guys. But he added in cardio. And then he took some more of my food. Because again, we're 7 weeks and 4 days out today. And we got to get back on track. The other problem is my cycle is due in 4 days as well. My cycle is due on Sunday. So, that being said, the scale is a little bit wonky. I have been on track Sunday, Monday. I'm going to be honest. So, Monday was 2 days ago. Monday, I got caught off guard again. I was pretty much on track. However, I go into work to put my food in the microwave, and there was a bag of chips there, wide open. Didn't expect to see that there. And I took a couple of those chips out of there. Dang it, Robin, let's get out of this break room. You're warming up your food. Why are you snacking? I get home. There's my daughter bringing in her birthday cake. She just turned 21 Sunday. I said, don't bring that cake in here. She did. So naturally, I went in on the cake. I went in on that cake hardcore. So where I could have probably been about a little bit less today or yesterday morning, I woke up to 153 because of that darn cake and my bad choices. So yesterday I said, no more. We're sticking to the plan. And I won yesterday. Didn't touch a stitch of nothing all day, except for what I was supposed to. Did my cardio, did my workout. I didn't have workout, it was a rest day. So I woke up to 152 this morning, even on the scale. Which makes sense. My quads are sore from leg day on Monday. And my cycle is due in 4 days. Yeah, 4 days. So the scale gets a little bit wonky between inflammation on my quads. And believe it or not, folks, you might go off the rails on one day, like I did on Monday, and it might not show up till Wednesday. Like, you'll see the scale jump immediately the next day, but then it might even be even higher the next day because your body took some time to process it. So I think between my little Monday's cheat, my cycle coming and the inflammation in my legs. Even though I was spot on my calories yesterday, my scale, it went down, obviously. I lost 1.4 pounds, but it could have been lower. But by tomorrow, it should be lower because we're going to stick the plan today. We are locked in. And my legs will have dissipated a little bit better. By Thursday, my legs aren't as sore, and the inflammation from them is usually gone. So, tomorrow's check-in, I might be about 150, which I think Coach will be happy about that. If I could lose these 2 pounds today, I think Coach will be happy about that. And it's very possible between inflammation and, everything. However, tomorrow's Thursday, and usually the symptoms of my cycle show up on Thursday. So regardless of what happens tomorrow, even if I'm still 152 tomorrow morning, I'll know that's not true weight. And my coach also understands that because my cycle is coming, because we just did a drop in cows, because we just added cardio, you really need to give your body a chance to process all of these things. I haven't even been on the new low-cals for a week yet. I started them Tuesday because Monday I already had my food scheduled, and that's when he changed it. And I was like, I can't adjust that now. So next week, Tuesday, will be a full week on it. Next week, Tuesday, I will be about 3 days into my cycle, which usually by then the weight starts to go back down. By then, my heaviest day is about that day maybe, or starts to taper off. So there's nothing much you can say other than let's hold here, keep doing what you need to do, stay on track, keep everything as is, and let's just see what Monday brings. Monday probably won't bring a whole lot because I will have started my cycle. So the weight could still be the same or a little bit higher. It's a really wonky week. But because of my past cycle weeks, I am bound and determined to fight the fine fight of my cravings this weekend and not give in to any type of cravings. And how am I planning on doing that? Well, I'm staying busy. I picked up 2 shifts for the weekend at work. That way I am out of the house, away from food, because when I'm in the house on the weekends, the food is all around me. It's easy to go and, mosey into my pantry and pick something up, or, nibble this, nibble that. But Saturday afternoon, I got to be to work at 1:30. So I get up in the morning, I take my walk. My mornings are easy on the weekends. I get up, I sleep in a little bit later, get up, take my morning walk, make my breakfast fresh, eat it. I'll be good in the morning. And then by the time it's time to go to work, I bring my rest of my food with me. I don't get home until after my bedtime. Then the next morning, I got to be back there again at 11 o'clock. And I'll be there from 11 to 7. So there's no room for error this weekend, which this weekend is the hardest 2 days. Friday and Saturday are the hardest 2 days before my cycle starts, where the cravings kick in like somebody's trying to kill me. And it's so hard to fight it. So if I'm busy and away from food, there's no reason that I should be tempted. I can fight it. So I'm not around the food. I'm doing shuttle work. Constantly moving. So I welcomed that on purpose. I picked up those 2 shifts. So I was happy to get those 2 shifts. I'll wrap this video up. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on where I'm at, y'all. Like, we're still in the fine fight. We're still 7 or so weeks out. So there's plenty of time for me to drop this weight that I need to drop. I'm still very much in this prep. Like Coach said, we haven't thrown anything away. However, at this point, I need to lock in. I have no more room for any more errors. And it's just 7 weeks. I can do this for 7 weeks. The hardest part is usually my cycle time. So if we survive this cycle time, I feel like we will come out of this victorious with some very new lows. Possibly like 146, 145 on the scale if I fight the fine fight. So just want to give y'all a quick update. I'm almost to work. And I'm going to try to stick true to my word. So I'm going to come back and holler at y'all after my cycle next week. I'll probably make a video on the 1st of August. I'm going to try. What happens is I forget. It's not that I don't want to. I just literally forget. And I'm not really big on YouTube. But I'm going to try and do on August 1st because I'm even taking a hiatus of IG as well. I'm not on IG. I'm on there, but I'm not posting because I'm just trying to stay out of my head, just trying to, and I'm not even really on there as often as I used to be because I'm trying to just stay in my own lane and stay out the way. I don't want the, people around me reminding me of where I need to step up. So I'm trying to stay in my own lane. I do feel like that little refeed definitely set me up to keep pushing and to really help me grind these next 7 weeks. I'll have one more cycle before show day. So if I can fight through this one, I know I can fight through that one. Because that one's, I'll be literally the week before the show, 2 weeks out. There's no way I'm gonna let anything happen then. Like I just can't. 2 weeks out, it's a whole different mental game. But I will see y'all later.